Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Again, this is Trey Ferg at the Player Coach. Ladies and gentlemen, salute to all you veterans, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Trey Ferg at the Player Coach. Thank you everybody for coming in. Listen, like I say all the time, I'm retired, so my timing is not always going to be the best, but I do appreciate anyone who stops in, says hello, has a bad comment, a positive comment. They all apply. I take it all as a part of my blessing and a part of my grace and part of my learning and understanding. So any comments, whether it's one or 1,000, are all welcome. Again, my name is Trey Ferg, the Player Coach. And, it's been a lot of conversations that I've been listening in on and about being, better people, whether it's the young lady side, the young man side. I think that we all are in a unique space right now. I think both men and women, especially the young men and young women, are in a unique space right now. A lot of this, what y'all hearing now, is just the first time it's starting to get sort of, straightened out. You hear a lot of us old heads talking about the way it used to be. Then you hear a whole nother section of people talking about the way it is and it ain't going back to the old way. However, when you look at yourself as an individual, you have an opportunity to always make those situations in your life better. When you get to certain ages, a lot of the decisions that you make can help you or hinder you. However, you just have to be willing to move regardless. I'm gonna always say this, especially when you're young. You can't afford to sit around, same neighborhood, same block, talk to the same friends every day. You can't afford to do that. Time is ticking and time is a wasting. And the one thing we know we can't get back is time, regardless. You have to be willing to be selfish for a little while, at least until you can get to a space in your life where you can relax from the hustle and bustle of having to go to work. You can, just, I don't know, just change the dynamics at some point. But between now and then, there's a lot of work that must be done. There's a lot of work that must be done. Just take anybody else out the picture. You are in that space right now where things have to change for you. We hear a lot of what's bad. Our strongest generations of young folk are fighting. And we're fighting over what? Pretty much, I don't know, money, sex, children. That's my top three. I don't know. It could be a few more that you can throw in there, but that's just for me. Money, sex, children, which is just unfortunate because the children are the one that lose. They're the one that put in a bad situation. They're the ones that have to see us as adults fight it out. And it's just unfortunate because the world is continuing to move around us. So, I don't know what I can offer. I do have a lot of experience in working with young adults. From what I've always sort of understood, and it could be, and I would say a older way, some people say extinct way of looking at it, but when I look at the results, it's always worked throughout time. It's always worked. There's no shortcuts around certain things. We all have a negative story we could tell, probably 2 or 3, but we also all have a positive story that we can tell. We all had trauma at some point in our life, but we also all had some good at another point in our life. I put my head in these sort of situations as far as you only see my head because I don't want to really be the focus. I don't. I'm not, I'm just the mouth. That's it. So where are you at right now? Where are you at? Are you looking for something different? You tired of the same old mundane routine? Are you tired of listening to the same people complain about what it was, where they are? Are you tired of your current condition? It didn't necessarily have to be, you know, physical condition. It also can be your mental capacity. Things can be coming a little bit overwhelming to you. It just depends on where you are. I don't claim to have the one size fits all solution. I don't do that because sometimes I understand that my messages don't reach everybody. I understand that going into it. I understand that not everybody's ready for what my little 2 cents has to say. But regardless of when you get the information, as long as you get it, you see, a lot of us didn't get certain information. Parents didn't say a lot. They didn't tell us about the ugly part of what their life was, how we got here, whether we were married, or our parents were married or not. The fact is that we here. That's the good thing. We here. It was all in the plan to be here. Had nothing to do with mom, had nothing to do with dad. It was in the plans for you to be here. And that's the unique thing about it. But now that you're here, will you exercise empathy, freedom, treat things as if treat yourself like it's sacred? Would you have faith? Will you speak in truth, live in truth? Will you come up with new ideas? Would you accept yourself? Will you have validity for yourself? Are you positive? Are you tolerant? Are you because with age comes wisdom. Do you have a positive spirit? Are you generous? Generosity. Are you inspired just because you can wake up? Do you have respect for others and yourself? Do you seek justice? What's the right thing? Unity. Now that could be unique because that could apply to other people, the community, our family. Do you trust your family? Altruism. When I look that word up, it's almost a blessing and a curse because you will go to any length, regardless if it will bring harm to yourself, to have a best outcome from somebody else. You're going to go through hell and high water just to save somebody else. Now, that's a word for you. That's a word for you. All of these words can apply at some point. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but at some point, these words have to mean something within your life. Are you conscious? Do you think you're beautiful? Not just on the outside, but on the inside. Do you have a connection to something that's positive? Do you love yourself? Do you love those that are around you? Not because they did something, but just because. So where are we? Do you trust yourself that you can be the best you can be, that you can figure that one thing out that you couldn't figure out before? Do you trust others that love you? Do you have a purpose? Are you working towards your purpose? Because when you're young, you don't know a purpose. Your purpose is to get exactly what you get in the moment. But as you get older and you go through a few little experiences of life, you may find out what your purpose is. Do you value others? Do you have certain values? Do you have positive anger expression? That is a good value that people underestimate, because it seems that everything else makes us angry. Other people tend to be able to make us angry. Do you allow yourself to have some innocence? Abundance. Now that comes after the work. You can have abundance of anything as long as you put in the work. Do you value your own ideas? Are you always letting people push their ideas on you? That happens a lot in our community. We heard that somebody did, that somebody said, and that's the way it is. Or do you seek your own intelligence? Because seeking intelligence, meaning you have to put in the work to learn and gain something. Then you will become intelligent about that particular matter. But the more you seek knowledge, the more you gain information, your intelligence continues to improve. Do you give yourself inspiration? Do you give others inspiration? Are you modest? Are you a braggart? Do you dream? Or you feel like dreams are just a waste of energy? Do you have bravery? Are you brave enough to walk away? Are you brave enough to push on? Are you brave enough to step outside of your own selfish wants and needs? Again, all of these words can apply at some point. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but at some point. So it comes down to you as an individual. And before I get into the topic, I just want everybody to know that, if you wake up after you get your, I don't know, 5, 10, 8, how many hours of sleep you get every night, when you wake up the next day, or if you go to sleep, and like myself, is going to be probably after 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, I'll probably wake up 2 or 3 in the afternoon, maybe 3 or 4 in the afternoon, depends. Sometimes I wake up and go back to sleep. When you do wake up each day, you got another chance to be better than who you were before you laid yourself down and went to sleep. You always got another opportunity to love yourself more, to evolve, to become awakened, to become selfless, to become an inspiration, to become a hero to somebody. You always have a chance to do that. Each day you wake up, to gain more freedom from the things that probably hold you back, to have more joy in your life, to be more creative and come up with more ideas, to walk in the truth, to have validity, to create a miracle, to be a miracle to somebody else. You always have another opportunity. Always. So don't ever discount the fact that you were able to survive anything that you felt was adverse in your life. You overcame it. So you have to value that. And it depends on where you are. You can't expect that. None of us had all the answers when we were younger. None of us. Some of us still don't have the answers as adults. But what does that have to do with you? What does that have to do with you? Some people seem to think that that's just who they are. Well, if it happened to my mama and my daddy, then it'll happen to me. Or, let me see, it didn't happen to my mama and daddy, but it's going to happen to me. It's all in the perspective. It's all how you look at things. But believe me, when you lay your head to rest and you wake up the next day or after you've gotten your so-called beauty rest, I used to say I used to get my ugly rest because I didn't think I looked better than I was when I was a day younger. But that was just a little self-quirky battle I had with myself because I had to accept myself from an early age. I knew I was light-skinned with the big lips. Just part of it. I loved it. You know, there's things happen to me that I couldn't control, especially when you're a kid growing up in a home. You know, you're a young teenager trying to graduate, even as a young adult, even as an older adult. There's some things that are just out of our control. But we can't let that control the rest of our lives moving forward. We can't do that. Because if you do, you're going to have a lifelong filled with pain until you come to that age of reason where you know when you get tired. And the worst thing you can do is own all of that for 20, 25 years of your life. I can't tell you when to let things go. I can't do anything like that. But as long as you continue to challenge yourself to be better, seek the bravery, and be able to laugh at your mistakes and laugh at your quirkiness. You have to be able to laugh at that. Everybody's not built like a and when you do, you have to trust yourself enough. You have to respect yourself enough. You have to have self-awareness enough. You have to inspire yourself. You have to be modest. You have to be kind. You have to love yourself. And you have to be willing to see those things out. You cannot give up at the first sign of adversity because that's just part of life. You didn't know how to tie your shoe, but you learned. You didn't know how to balance your budget, but you learned. It's just part of growth. And just because you stop growing physically does not mean you need to stop growing mentally and emotionally. Well, it's almost sort of the same, but your emotions as an adult is probably one of the biggest, I would say, let me see, the biggest walls that we have are emotions. Our emotions get the best of us and it puts us in a bad space. It's hard to think. We get headaches. Our body aches. I know some people that gotten so mad their body just locked up on them. And we know that that's unhealthy, what that can lead to. So we just have to, continue to be willing to work to be better. That's all. Don't be so hard on yourself all the damn time. Believe me, learn how to laugh at the stupid stuff about you. You just have to be able to accept yourself. But if you want to be better in who you are, you have to be willing to put in the work. You have to. You cannot cry because mama this and daddy that and all of that. When you're ready to see the change, you just have to be willing to put in the work. You have to be. You can step outside of being African American, whatever. You live in America. You live in America. You can have everything that you want if you just focus on self. Not be afraid to let your wings fly. Not be afraid to stand out in the crowd. Not be afraid to go against the grain regardless of what everybody else is doing. What's that phrase we use? Standing on business. As long as it's a righteous business, something that won't put yourself in danger, it won't jeopardize your life. Why not try it? Why not try it? You may find out a little bit more about yourself. You may realize, you know what? I just wasn't into that like I thought I was. Or, you know what? I need to put up a little bit more effort. Because we talk about freedom. We talk about the rainbow, getting the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But you have to continue to gain knowledge. You have to be more conscious of everything around you. You have to be an inspiration to somebody. Bliss. All of these things can apply. You have to continue to evolve. And sometimes we just got to be happy in the moment where we are. Just be happy in the moment. Just be happy in the moment. So now I'm just going to get into my title. And it's unique because you can apply this to the most vulnerable. You know, I chose the butterfly because the butterfly has two lives. It has two lives. You have a life when you're a kid, when you're a child, when you're an adolescent. And then you have a life as a young adult, a mature adult, a senior adult. As they say, an OG, when you start getting gray hair, start having to wear glasses, start going bald, all that's OG. All that's OG. If that starts to go happen to you immaturely, then you may want to look at some things medically. Because you don't wait till you get 50 to start getting muscles. It just doesn't happen that way. You are in your best physical and mental, well, I would say physical at least. Mental capacity, sometimes that comes with age. But you're in your, probably your strongest time in your life when you're young. And I'll just stick with 21 and over. It's the strongest time in your life. Hell, you can go 18. You're out of high school. You know, you got some decisions to make. Parents are looking at you crazy, like, man, what you gonna do? You eat too much to keep taking care of you. You gotta do something. And you're gonna come to that fork in the road. Some people sort of acquiesce to the, what we used to call in education, I'd say about 2010, 2012, it started to be a term called dummy down. Meaning you have the ability, you have the talent, you understand everything about that shit, but you choose not to put forth your best effort. That's called dummying down. That's the, if you, it's sort of, it's always contradictory to really who your nature is. As a young man, as a young woman, you should never slight yourself. When you self-doubt yourself, that makes it easy for the world to put their foot on your neck. When you see yourself as less than, it makes it easy for people to put their foot on your neck. So, listen, we're here in this time, in this space, the most technological advance, the most everything, the most money, so y'all say. But where do you stand in that line? Are you standing in the money line? Do you want people to give it to you, or do you want to earn it? You have to be willing to, one, stand on business. You have to be willing to put in the work so you can get the money to take care of your business. And then you can stand on the business. But you can't, I don't know. Like I said, everything I'm saying does not apply to everybody. I understand that. But you don't get to be old without life and experiences. My life is no better than anybody else's. But I always believe in the same thing. My life is no worse than anybody else's either. It's just life. It's just how I'm having to navigate it. But I knew for myself that I always at least wanted to be afloat. I never wanted to sink. I always wanted to be afloat. So here we are. Are you going to continue to stay afloat? Are you going to continue to at least try to get you some wings? Are you going to do that? And that plays right into the title. It says, Fly, Young Butterfly. Why I choose the butterfly? Again, it has two stages. And we all can look back when we were ugly, scrubbly little caterpillars. And we'll see a caterpillar today like, ooh, look at the caterpillar. Don't touch me with the caterpillar. Nobody likes the caterpillar. It's ugly, so you would say. It moves slow. It worms in and out. It might have a little fur on it. You might have some things on it that are not very attractive to you. And I learned the difference between a caterpillar that would turn into a butterfly and a caterpillar that would turn into a moth. The moth caterpillars typically have the brownish color, the darker color on it. And the butterfly would have the brighter color. And you know what the caterpillar's only job is to do? And you can apply this to most children. Or you can apply it to some adults who continue to live in the child's mindset. The caterpillar has one job, and that one job is to just eat and take. So Tim basically saying take, because when you're eating, you take it. Now, as a kid, hey, kids grow. They can go from wearing a size 6 this summer to wearing a size 10 the next summer, especially boys. Girls, they feet just as wide as ours. They can go from a size 6.5 to a size 9, all in one summer. You're like, man, you eat me out of house and home. That's the old saying they used to say. But that's the part of the growth. That's part of the growth. You're going to grow. You can't get around that. Physically, I graduated high school, guys 2 inches shorter than me. I saw them at our 35th reunion. Hell, they were standing over 6'4", 6'5". I'm like, what the hell happened? Oh, I had a growth spurt. When? I got mine before the age of 17. So you can't predict when you'll grow as long as you're moving. Another fact about a caterpillar will increase their body mass by as much as 1,000 times or more. Because again, they just all what they doing is eating. 1,000 times. Just imagine if you ate like that. But just imagine if you learned as much as a caterpillar ate. That would be interesting to see between the life of a caterpillar and your life, how much you learn and compare the two. I think you'll be a little smarter than a caterpillar, I would hope. A caterpillar's first meal is typically its eggshell. So it eats, it's one thing that protected it. It eats it. Do you know that caterpillars have at least 4,000 muscles in their body? I don't know how many human body have, but the human body has a lot. We have a lot of muscles. Different variations of muscles. Think about it. We got the brain. They say the brain is a muscle. Cheek muscles, lip muscles, nose muscle, ear muscle, everything. Feet muscles, muscles in our feet, bottom of our feet, top of our feet, arms, legs, back, shoulders, everything. I don't know the exact number of muscles a human got. I'm gonna have to look that up. But a caterpillar has 4,000 muscles. A little bitty caterpillar. Probably no longer than a finger. In most cases, you see one longer than your finger, most of us would probably run from it. But yet, the caterpillar exists. We young, we still caterpillars. We still look scrubbly. You can go back and look at anybody's high school picture. Just tell them put out their high school yearbook or 8th grade yearbook. Scruggly looking caterpillars. Nappy hair, shirt all twisted, just existing. Eating up everything at lunch, at school, eating up everything when they go home, just being an old caterpillar. Developing muscle. I know it used to be a time when kids just ran for the hell of it. Just got outside, ran, rode a bike, jumped off the top of the garage, went swimming, fucking dove in the lake, dove off the bridge. A kid was telling me the other day he was jumping off the bridge into maybe 25, 30 feet down into a little ravine of water. Shit. You don't do that shit when you get older. You do that shit when you're a kid. Exactly. Just getting rid of all of those deficiencies that they hope that you take on without movement, without getting that vitamin D. Y'all know some caterpillars have 12 eyes. Just imagine if you had 12 eyes. 12 eyes. We got 2 eyes and can't see shit. They got 12. Just imagine if you had 12 eyes. You would see all the BS coming into your life from every direction. Like, oh, nope, get away from there. But I think the one thing that goes unnoticed about most caterpillars, just like young people, young adults, a caterpillar can produce silk. Can produce silk. Just like a young man, young woman, you can produce talent. You have talents that have to be sort of nurtured. You can be that. You can be a part of that, but you have to be willing to put in the work. And a lot of times, a lot of that nurturing has to come from yourself. It has to come from yourself. We all understand our conditions. And once you realize what your condition is, it's imperative that you nurture yourself above all others, above everything. If we have children, it's important that they get the nurturing too. And that's protecting them from certain things that they should not be a part of. It doesn't mean you can't explain it to them and talk about it, but they shouldn't actually be able to live in it. I'm a father. There's no way. I told my son this about 2 weeks ago. there will never be a time before you turn 35 that we ever drink a beer together, ever. Some people may feel different, and that's fine. But I want him to know that anything that he does that could possibly be a detriment to his life, he's going to have to do that on his own outside of me. Outside of me. And I'm only doing what I chose to do with my father. My father used to always try to get me to drink with him when I was 24, 25. I was like, nah, it's all right. But then I can still go out with my friends and hey, we turn up. But as far as my father, I don't know. It's just something in me. I just wanted to respect that. Like, I didn't want him to think that we could be on that level. Because again, my father was an alcoholic. And I didn't want any of that trace of whatever it's called, gene or behavior that I understood that he struggled with. I didn't want that to be a part of my life. Plus, I have a weak stomach because women say the guy that drink fruity drinks. Oh, I'm that guy. I'm drinking all the fruity drinks I can get. Mix it up with something. Put some juice in there. Put something in there. Some Sprite. Nothing straight. Especially when I was young. Hey, me and my friends, we used to smoke a little weed, but we didn't smoke it so much where we didn't want to do shit. We ain't smoking to the point that, well, man, I don't want to go to work. Nah, you better wait till the weekend. I'm not going to work smelling like weed and alcohol seeping through my pores. No, because we tend to think other people are blind to what we do. They see that shit. Will they say something every time? It all depends on who it is. Somebody trying to get in your position, oh, they gonna say something. But again, you put yourself in that position because you did not respect yourself, the position that you were in, the responsibility that you had for yourself, possibly your family. So we just have to be careful. And one good thing about caterpillars, just like humans to me, I don't know if I mentioned it, but they produce silk. So out of all of that with the caterpillar, people will be like, ooh, a bug. It still has something positive. Who don't like a good silk shirt? I remember a time everybody liked silk. I know some of y'all got silk shirts right now that y'all look at like, yeah, I like it. I used to look good in my silk shirt when I went out. Yeah, silk was a big thing, and I think it was the early 90s, mid 90s. Yeah, silk was it. Everybody wanted a silk shirt. And it wasn't no $70, $80 either. Like I'm old knockoff Versace fake silk shirts. I don't even know if it's silk. It's probably rayon and mixed with something. But back in the day, yeah, you can get you a good silk shirt for $20, $25. That nice, cool material too. Didn't have a big name written all on it. It just looked good and felt good. If you had a name on something, you probably had some jeans, some Jordans, some Calvin Kleins, and the women like the Vidal Sassoons. I ain't know too many men in my area that wore Vidal Sassoons. It was Jordans, Calvin Klein, Levi's. Lee's was more for boot cut type. Brothers wasn't too many brothers wearing boots, but it was a time we wore cowboy boots, but we wanted a different little look with that cowboy boots. So caterpillars, they have its purpose. We all are at a cocoon state. We all are caterpillars at some point. It's just, where do you want to be within that? Where do you want to be? Again, caterpillars are just little larvae. They all have sort of that same beginning stage. Just like if it's going to be a moth or a caterpillar, they all start from the same origin, just like us as humans. We start from the seed of a man, we get incubated and brought to life through the wound of the woman. So everybody goes through that cycle. If there's somebody out there that didn't go through that cycle, they say my cousin Jesus didn't go through that cycle, but that's because they trying again to discredit the brothers. That's all. Just trying to discredit it. But that's just my spill on it. Yes, that I know the text says one thing, but just my spill on it. So now one thing about some caterpillars too is that they can cause some damage to some plants and other materials. They just eat it up to a point where it just destroys whatever it is that they touch. How does that equate to being a human? Don't we see it now? Some of us, as we complain about the children are bad. They bad. Caterpillars. Caterpillars. That's all. Because they're just come into their condition. They're just form into their condition. Some caterpillars, like people, have, it says they have hairs, which we all have hair, arms, legs, back, whatever. Or they may have some hooks that sting when they get touched. Ooh, ain't that like some people we know? Every time you try to get close to them, they sting you. They say something crazy to you, hurt your feelings. Hmm? Think about it. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like, share, subscribe button to Trey Ferguson Player Coach. Again, hit the like, share, subscribe to Trey Ferguson Player Coach. We're going to change our scenery right now, and we're just going to, again, start coming into our next phase. And I'll continue to go down the list of who we are in our cocoon state. Again, subscribe to Trey Ferguson, the Player Coach, ladies and gentlemen. So here we are. We transition. Another thing about caterpillars is that not all caterpillars turn into butterflies. Again, some turn into moths. And you know how much we don't like moths. Moths seem to eat fabric. That's why they have those mothballs. Mothballs is what they call it. Because a moth would get in clothes and fabric and just eat it up. Now, a caterpillar will destroy some plants. That's why they say with caterpillars, if you have a problem with caterpillars, get you some spiders and put them in there with your plants. And the spiders will take care of the caterpillars. Just maybe one or two. You may see some spider webs just because the spiders are trying to catch those caterpillars and those flying insects that eat plants too. And just like caterpillars, as it relates to humans, they are going to only turn into a butterfly or a moth. It cannot become anything else. So, as I am a caterpillar, I can only turn into an adult. I can't turn into anything else. A caterpillar is an infant state of a butterfly. A child, a kid, is an infant state of a human, or man or woman. It's just what it is. You're not going to turn into anything else. If you are a baby, with the mercy of God, you'll get a chance to turn into a butterfly. Now, that time that you turn into that butterfly, who's to say? You don't control that. I don't control it for sure. You may have some control of it, but it comes down to being just that person. Being just that. It comes down to that. And if you can find a way to not be afraid of that, then you'll be okay. But if you stand afraid, it may come back to haunt you. It may come back to bite you. Now be careful of some caterpillars, because some, although they may look fairy and really innocent, some may have spikes on them. Just be careful of that. Just like things may appear to be nice, some may have spikes on it. People appear to be nice, but then they switch up on you. So you have to always be aware. That's one thing about growing up. You always have to be aware of your surroundings, no matter where you are. If you've been there 1,000 times, you still need to be aware, because at 1,001 times, something negative may happen to you that jeopardizes your safety in your life. You have to be aware of that. So we see this butterfly here. It's what you call a monarch butterfly. And there's differences between the male and the female. Based off what I see, this is a male butterfly. How do you know what that? Because let me show you. You see this picture here where the male at the top has these little pouches here on the wings, and it's a little bit lighter colors within here, not as overwhelming, and it's a little smaller than the female. The female butterfly is a little larger. Everything about it is a little larger. See, the colors here are not as bright as the male colors at the top. And it doesn't have these little pouches here. So if I go back to the next scene, you can see those little pouches right here as the wings flap. And again, why I choose the butterfly? Because the butterfly is bright. The butterfly flies almost like it has nothing else to do. It don't appear to be looking for anything. It's sometimes, a butterfly let you get up close to it, check you out, and then it'll fly away. Sometimes the butterfly land on you. You can see butterfly is very colorful, very graceful. They can catch a wind, fly. I don't know how high they can fly in the air, but it's a nice, nice height. Definitely something that we'll be afraid of. But just like a butterfly, as we get out and we start flying, there's always something hunting us or someone looking to take us down, just like the butterfly. So we have to just accept that sometime in our lives, we're going to be the caterpillar. As we age and mature and gain more wisdom and knowledge, we can always transition into the butterfly. Just a few more characteristics about the butterfly. It is an insect. The butterfly is an insect. That's what a butterfly is. It has 6 jointed legs, 3 body parts, and a pair of antennas. A pair. You can see this one has 4 antennas, a pair of antennas. 3 body parts, 6 jointed legs. So when a butterfly land, it's gonna land almost like, I don't know, it's only 5 fingers, but all 6 legs. When you look at people, it's millions of people that are similar, but all are different. They have the same head and arms and legs and back and feet, lips, ears. We all got that. But it still makes us very different and unique from everything else. A butterfly. It's over 160,000 species of butterflies around the world. Just like it's, what is it? I don't know the number, 8 trillion people, I don't know, billion people around the world. So it's a variety of us. How do we compare to a butterfly? If you was to take flight like the butterfly, who's to say where you would land? Who's to say how high you can go? Who's to say that? Only you can determine that. And the grace of God and the wind, they can only determine how high you can go. I can tell you another little crazy feat about butterflies that I don't know if too many people knew this, except maybe somebody who studied butterflies. Don't you know butterflies taste food with their feet? Now, I don't know too many humans that taste food with their feet, because a lot of us ain't washing our feet anyway. So it would be detrimental to your health probably to eat food off your feet. Butterflies actually taste food before they eat it. Don't we? Ain't we like that? And we picky with our food. I don't eat that. Ooh, I don't know about that. Let me try a little bit. Taste. And if we don't like it, what do? We put it down. We move on. You go down a buffet. Ooh, I don't eat that. I eat that. Okay, okay, and I don't want no more of that. You move on. All butterflies have unique differences and similarities. They all have the same body makeup as far as legs. Some have 6 legs, some have 4 legs. But they have 3 body parts, antennas, the body, the wings. They may be a totally different color. And we've seen butterflies of different colors. But where do you stand in the butterfly family? Are you a butterfly that likes to stand out? Are you a butterfly that likes to take risks to fly higher? Do you want to be a butterfly that is different, that's willing to catch a wind and fly high and just see where the wind takes you? Or do you always want to be under control, afraid to move certain ways, knowing that the way we're moving and continue to move could be detrimental? And just like us as humans, a butterfly can be found on every continent except Antarctica. Because don't too many people live out on Antarctica. But every other continent, you can find a butterfly. So what does that say? You as a human have the ability and the capability to go anywhere in the world that you want to go. There should be nothing that's stopping you. Nothing. The only thing that'll probably stop us is ourselves. So who's willing to be the butterfly and fly? Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like, share, subscribe to Trey Ferguson, the Player Coach. Again, hit the like, share, subscribe to Trey Ferguson, the Player Coach. And we have to really, really not be afraid. Let me go back to the butterfly picture one more time. You see the monarch butterfly, probably the most popular ones we probably see as we walk around our neighborhoods and communities. And you see the flowers that they like. There's different colors of butterflies. Just be leery of butterflies with those nice, pretty colors. If you see a rare butterfly, don't be so quick to pick it up because it could have some little, you see on this blue butterfly, these little thorns like, and they'll definitely sting you with those if possible. They'll get in a position where they'll sting you, and no telling what type of reaction you'll have. So you just be careful with that. Just be very careful. Very careful. And in some instances, just like humans, the butterfly seems to have a little quirky way of flying. It's like it flaps its wings and it's up and down, up and down, up and down. It has a bounce to it as it flops, just like the example I have, even though it's a short video, but it's like it goes up, come down. And sometimes the wings, well, you can see the wings are a lot larger than the body. So we know for sure that we are going to start out as caterpillars. We know that. We all start out as infants, toddlers, children, adolescents, teenagers, young adults, mature adult, senior adult. We all go through the same process. The trick is ensuring that we can move throughout all of those stages of our lives. That's the trick. There's no one way of going about it, but it's all up to you as the individual. It's all up to you. So where are you at with it? Do you think that you can do it within your own capacity? Do you believe you need assistance? If you're not quite sure, don't be afraid to ask somebody. Don't be afraid to ask. Do not be afraid to ask. Some things will be out of your control, whether you believe it or not. You growing is beyond your control. So here we are in this unique time and space here in America. Everything's going on around us. We seeing it play out in real time. There's no more hiding from the truth. It's playing out in real time. And people are starting to get their butterfly wings. Starting to get their butterfly wings. But you cannot be afraid to spread your wings out and fly. Gain as much as you can. Gain as much information as you can. Apply a lot of it. If it's good, I always say, take the meat, spit out the bones. Apply some of those things that you learn. See how it works out for you. Just like credit, 90 days. Give it 90 days, see how it works out. You have to be willing to take a chance on yourself. You young adults, take a chance on yourself, man. You have to. Y'all see what's happening. It doesn't mean you're running from anything. You're just putting yourself in a position where you can at least take care of yourself. Just like us, as humans, a butterfly has a short lifespan. We may think it's a long time, but we only here for a moment in time. Because time is going to be infinity. Nobody can predict when the earth will stop rotating. Nobody can predict that. It's all a scientific guess. But where do you take a stand for yourself? Are you willing to take a stand for yourself? You're 21 now, 22. The world is yours. Look at all avenues of opportunity. All avenues. We in America, we only got a few. College out of high school, traditional, trade school, college, similar, where you're learning a skill trade on the job, military, all branches, space, what is it? I don't know, the Space Force. Used to be what? Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard. Now you got the Space Force. So you got about 6 options in that. Or this new thing is what we call entrepreneurship. That sounds good. I can work for myself. But now I'm too afraid to let the world see that I can sew, that I can bake cakes, that I can draw, that I can create music, that I can play 5 instruments. I don't even want nobody to know that. That I know how to break a car down and put it back together. That I learn how to build something with my own 2 hands. I can make all my kids' clothes. I can lock up everybody's hair. I can find a way to give it chemicals that our body accepts. Spreading your wings and fly. Just understand that not everybody's going in the direction that you're going at the same time that you're going. Not everybody wants to see your dreams come to fruition, come to reality. But what does that have to do with you at least moving, at least flying? Nothing at all. It'll probably help you see a little bit better because you can get outside of that comfort space and look back at it once you fly out a little bit like, oh, I was in this. Let me back up a little bit so I can see, so I can help myself. So I'm not going to be out here too long. I just wanted to come in, and it was just something that was on my mind today. I don't know. I just hope that people who are not in the space that they want to be just are willing to not be afraid, not move in scarcity and fear. Be willing to put in the work. Be willing to step outside themselves. Be willing to show off the goodness in them. Show the world. Not just keep things bottled up, but get out there and let the world see your greatness. Because just like the butterfly's life, our lives are very short. Our lives are short. So, again, be the butterfly. Be that butterfly. Fly your ass somewhere. Fly. Just go, use the resources, use the technology. Survey the area before you actually go. But once you gather all the information, just get out there and start flying. That's all. Just get out there and start flying. Again, please hit the like, share, subscribe to Trey Ferguson, the Player Coach. Hit the like, share, subscribe to Trey Ferguson, the Player Coach. And ladies and gentlemen, and here we are in this unique space and time. I want to thank you all for just hanging out with me. On this early Friday morning. What is it, 3 a.m.? My favorite shows just went off. So, again, I appreciate you stopping by. If you have any questions, you can always catch me on the live. Send a comment, like, share, subscribe. If there's any way that I can help, please do not hesitate to ask. Please do not hesitate to ask. So, a thank you. I appreciate you. If you just stopped by, all of that good stuff, I accept it all. Let me see before I go. Let me see, I might have had a few little things. Okay, salute Hassan. Brina, I thank you for coming by, young lady. For real, I appreciate you. I appreciate that, Hassan, man. You always there, man. You always there, man. For real. So thank you for giving me the inspiration, man. Thank you, man. Yeah, Miss Brenda. Love you, young lady. I don't know what these guys waiting on. You better be lucky. That's all I gotta say. But hey, it's another live. But again, I appreciate y'all, man. For real. I appreciate y'all, man, all the way. 100, man, to everybody, man. All the content creators out there. Continue to give out good content. Keep it righteous. Until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, be blessed.